Hello, Aya. Hi, how are you? I'm Maya, and you can find me as sjomajlin on Instagram and on Ravelry. Today is Friday the 8th of January 2016, and I'm coming to you from Jönköping, Sweden. We're finally getting some weather. Let me turn the camera. Please look away if you're prone to get motion sick. I will just turn you ever so slightly. Can you see out there? We are getting weather. It's snowing very, very lightly at the moment, but there are a few snowflakes in the air. Let me turn you back. And there we go. Excuse me. We've had quite cold, actually, double digits below zero in Celsius, obviously, for quite a few days. I believe it's slightly warmer today. Let me see if I can... Yeah, I think it's kind of single digits today anyway. I have this little, maybe you saw it, I have a thermometer stuck to the outside of the window, which then obviously doesn't read correctly because heat is leaking through the window, but I can see sort of, you know, if it's very high or very low, and it seems like it's and it's also been snowing for several days. Excuse me. Very light snowfall, and also today is the first day in a very long time that it's completely overcast. We've had a lot of sunshine, and even though it's been very cold in the air, the sun has melted the snow like on the roads and on, like, you know, most surfaces that weren't grass, I guess. So it's been snowing most days lately, but it's not that thick a layer of snow to shovel and manage. So I am really enjoying the weather. I would prefer it to be summer, but I think that when it's winter, it makes sense for it to be winter and not some just sort of weather limbo, I guess. So yes. Other than that, what's been going on since last? I recorded on Sunday, so it's not been that many days. We had so Tuesday and Wednesday this week was, is it Epiphany in English? We call it like, again, we celebrate, sorry, I don't know what's going on with my nose today. We celebrate Christmas Eve, so then if we count from there, we call it the 13th day. Because that makes sense. I think it might be Epiphany in English, it might be Three Kings. And those are, so, excuse me, Wednesday is a red day. Do you say that? Like it's a weekend day. And so Tuesday was a half day for most people who worked, like office hours and stuff like that. So I took Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday off. So I was at work yesterday, which was Thursday, and I am also working today. So, but it's been a very slow start to the new year. I haven't really been working since before Christmas. So yeah, I am starting to get back to the routines, I guess. So I was thinking about this just before I started recording. I, and excuse the air quotes, should have gotten quite a lot of knitting done with all that free time. That is not an expression, excuse me, that is not an expression that I use, because unless I am, you know, approaching a hard deadline with my knitting, there is no should in it. Absolutely not. I would have anticipated to have gotten more knitting done than I have. again with all that free time in these days, but my depression has been kicking my butt, to be honest, and it's been kind of hard on me. So before I knew about depression physically, if that makes any sense, I knew that, well, it doesn't, what it means is not that someone is, sad and crying all the time. It can be other stuff, but I didn't really understand it, and I still don't understand how one can be so affected, but it's worse in the mornings, so I wake up and I'm like, okay, so let's go, let's get up, make some breakfast, get some tea going, and do this, and I just don't. I have absolutely no energy. I have such a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, and I cannot understand it, honestly, and it's rough. Yeah. I mean, I am managing. I do get, myself fed and watered. So there is no need to worry, like that. But it's hard. So I'm hoping that with the snow, it gets a little bit brighter, and I can already tell that the days are getting somewhat longer. I posted a picture to Instagram the other day that it was about 4 o'clock and it wasn't pitch black yet. About half an hour later it was, but days are getting longer. So the light is returning, so I'm really hoping for that to help me now, and also getting back to the routines. I hope that will also give me a boost. So yeah, on that happy note. No, but I haven't had very much knitting done, and that's fine, because that's just what it is sometimes. Anything else about the week? No, not really. I had some kind of thought somewhere, but that was, yeah, I don't know. I have a finished object, and it's a hat, and I want to try it on, so let me take this hair clip thingy out. So I finished the Amanara hat that I've been working on a few weeks now, by Valeria Garcia. Free pattern on Ravelry. It looks like this. I love the crown decreases with these twisted stitches. So I believe I finished this on Sunday, and I blocked it, and oh, I washed my hair yesterday, so now there's a lot of loose hairs coming out. Let me place them over there for now. I blocked it on Sunday, and then I wore it out to run some errands on Monday, and it was very itchy on my forehead. It's 100% wool. It's non-superwash. I don't know what kind of wool it is, but it was itchy on my forehead. So I was, as I said, I was running errands, so I was running in and out of stores. The weather outside was cold. The weather inside was not so cold, so I was, running warm. Which also, of course, adds to the itching. But, okay, so it was really itching on my forehead. So I took a piece of, thin jersey fabric, I guess it is, and just sewed it on by hand as, do you say interfacing? I guess there is the join. I think it might be interfacing. So in my head, this was the best fabric that I had. In my head, this darker stripe, this blue stripe, was a lot wider. But it turned out that it wasn't in real life. So there is a little bit of white shining through down here where the first increases are. But to be quite honest, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, if I wouldn't have this interfacing, you know, the white of my forehead would be shining through here anyway, so yeah, I'm happy with it. And this little detail of sewing in this fabric makes it feel so luxurious and fancy, I guess. So I've been wearing this quite a lot and I'm really happy with it. What I talked about last week as well, what I'm thinking about is, so this has sizes, adult size fitted and adult size slouchy. I actually made this slouchy because I'm usually more comfortable with a slightly slouchier hat than a fitted hat. But this is fitted. On my head anyway. I guess my head is probably larger than it's small, if that makes any sense. I don't have like an abnormously, is that a word? Large head or anything, but it's probably larger rather than small. But still, again, as I mentioned last week, I did not do a gauge swatch. I just cast on and went. I was using, so this calls for size 3.5 mil needles for the brim and size 4 mil needles for the body of the hat. I usually need to go down needle sizes, so I did. The yarn that I was using calls for size 4 mil needles as well. So I went down to 3 mil needles, which usually gets me at gauge, sort of. But that might be why the size isn't exactly what it should be. I do think though that I think that my gauge as for the density of the fabric is really good. So I got the fabric that I wanted, but maybe not the size, I don't know. Or maybe the sizes run really small. Perhaps, I don't know. I'm happy with it, but it's not exactly slouchy. So if you want to knit it, just be aware that maybe the sizes are running small, or maybe it's just the fact that I did not knit a swatch, as usual. And I am just trying to get my hair out of the way again. So, yeah. That's the finished object that I have, and as I said, I've been wearing it quite a lot, and I'm really enjoying wearing it. And then I have 3 works in progress. 2 are old ones, and 1 is new. So the first is the Linus shawl again. I have now started on the 3rd ball of yarn. I'm thinking that I might be able to tell you where that was, but I don't know. I think it's where this blue stripe starts. I don't know, I'm not sure. Because it is kind of striping, but I don't really think that it's that obvious anyway, where the new yarn joins in. So this is a Linus shawl again. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I am quite enjoying it. It's getting really big and it'll be really cozy. So I've only just started the 2nd ball, so I have third and last ball. So I have some work left to do on that, because I'm thinking I'll use up the 3rd ball as well. I will knit until it's, I'm sure you know what I mean. Let me just put these down on the floor. And then I'm also working on the sweater out of Öland Wool Center yarn. This was my Christmas Eve cast on. And I am knitting this with raglan increases top down I'm sure I had divided for the sleeves or arms, or for the body, if you will, last time, but I've knitted on down the body. I have 2 skeins, or I'm alternating skeins. So you can see that here in this section it's very contrasted striping, and here it's like striping grey on grey, and here it's striping like turquoise on turquoise, and now we're getting into the more contrasted striping. And I quite like it. I mean, I could have avoided that by lining up the... So this is a cake I haven't started on yet, but it looks like that, so you can tell where the colors are. I could have lined it up better so that it would be higher contrast all the way, but I quite like it this way actually. It was unintentional, but I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, I'm knitting on. I am at waist height or length, I guess. And again, I'm making this very, very straight and boxy. It's gonna have some positive ease and be very, like, straightforward. I am a little bit worried about making the sleeves, or I'm trying to think how to do that. I will alternate skeins on them as well, so that they have the same stripes going up through. I don't mind if the sleeves aren't exactly the same in the striping, but I would not want one sleeve to be sort of this grey on grey striping and the other to be more of this turquoise in turquoise, and just some of the higher contrast striping like at the top or on one sleeve and the bottom of the other sleeve. I would like them to be the same-ish. And I don't really know how to go about that, so one evening when I was very tired and tried to think about this, I was like, well, I just knit them 2 at a time. Well, yeah, I could do that, but then I need to use 4 skeins or 4 active strands of yarn, which will be messy. And even if I do that, the difference in how... I mean, essentially it is a kind of pooling, right? In a way. So how they will pool is not affected by me knitting the sleeves 1 at a time or 2 at a time. So I'll have to figure that out somehow, and as usual, I'm probably making a bigger problem in my head of it than what it really is. I'm working on that anyway. And then I started, out of the same yarn that I made the hat in, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see, I guess. I am knitting some lace. Yeah, it doesn't really show with a very light background. Well, I'll show it to you more next time when I hopefully have some more. Before Christmas, I was knitting this bib, shawl, cowl thing for my sister-in-law for her birthday. I was knitting it out of some handspun yarn in light pink. It looks sort of like cotton candy. So I was knitting it like a shawl, triangular shawl, and then I joined it in around. So it's much shorter in the back than in the front. And I was making this lace pattern, and someone asked me to write it up as a pattern. And so that is why I'm now knitting a second one. And I've been making notes, and I am currently working on making this understandable for someone else. So I am, yeah, that is why I'm knitting a second one. And so organizing thoughts very quickly. My idea is to make this a free pattern. And since someone, I don't remember who, sorry, but someone had asked about it anyway, so I'm thinking like, sure, I'll give it a try. I've never written up any pattern before, so I'll give it a try. This version is a heavier yarn than I used the first time, and I am pretty sure that the yarn weight doesn't really matter, because you are knitting, I mean, the heavier yarn you've got, you are knitting fewer repeats, but you are knitting for like a specific length, or yeah. So I'm thinking that any yarn weight would be okay. So I'll try to okay, so what I'm trying to say, but it's probably not coming across. If I was to write up a pattern using a very specific yarn, a very specific size of needles, and a very specific gauge, I could just write, you know, do this, dot, period, over. In this case, I'm trying to do something like, do whatever you want to. Just make sure it looks something like this, if this is what you're going for. Which makes it a little bit more fuzzy to actually write down, but I think I might be able to do that. So, I will have this to be a free pattern. But if one or two of you would want to knit it, well, test knit it for me, just to make sure that we have, you know, a beta version go up, and maybe have the roughest kinks worked out before it goes up, that would be lovely. So I'm not done with the written pattern yet, but I'm working on it, as I said. But if you would like to help me with that, please get in contact, and that would be awesome, to see if I am able to make myself understood in writing as well, in writing a pattern. And also this shawl that I was knitting earlier this fall, which is the mitered square sort of L shape or V shape that I've been using as a shawl. Well, I was asked also to write this as a pattern, so I'm thinking that I will do that as well. I haven't done that either, but I have started to take some measurements and think about how to just my modus operandi, I guess. So this will, I won't write, my plan is, oh, hair in my mouth. My plan is not to write a description for the mitered squares, because there are a lot of mitered squares out there. So I will give, in the instructions, I will ask the one who wants to knit it to look up the mitered squares, and then just give the directions for how I placed them. So I'm thinking this won't be as hard to write up, but if someone wants to look at this pattern or description as well before I publish it, that would be good. I'm not at all as nervous about making myself understood when it comes to this, but if someone wants to do that, then please get in contact with me. This will also be a free pattern, because that is just a version of an existing free pattern. So, and again, I don't know if I said that about this shawl, but this isn't done either. I'm working on it, but if someone gets in contact and wants to help me with that, maybe that will, you know, give me a kick in the to get it done. Maybe, you never know. Let me just look at the time. I received another Christmas gift as well this week. It's called Sagornas stickbok. Sticka sagobarnens bästa kläder. Which obviously then is in Swedish. It is the knitting book of the fairy tales. knit the fairy tale children's best clothings. This book is copyrighted 2015, so it's a very new book, and it is written in Swedish, the original. So there might be, translations. There might be translations coming. I don't have any knowledge about that at all. But I've heard a lot about this book, and I am very, very thrilled to have it. Just the picture on the first page gives you a very good idea, I think, of the, the atmosphere in the book. So you can see it's a heavy book, and it is. I've only just had a look through. I haven't done much reading in it, but it's a very text-heavy book, as you can see, without showing you too much of it. And there's a lot of pictures as well, so it does give you a lot of text and information about different fairy tales, and from what I get it, when I've heard other people talk about it, it is very engaging reading, and then it gives you as well quite a lot of different patterns and descriptions of projects. So there's quite a few projects in here, but also a lot of text, and so this sweater, for example, is the title page, but then it gives you the description how to knit it, and so that is sort of the title page of that project. And here is the original. Am I showing you it in frame? So someone, it's Celia, who's written the book. So I'm guessing she's the one, or maybe she's had help, I don't know actually. Has been looking at these pictures in different fairy tales and been working with them to make them into real patterns, which is just amazing, I think. And there is so much different stuff and different fairy tales, and so here, for example, you might recognize Pippi Långstrump, which is long stocking, and then which picture will I show you? I'll show you this picture. So here is her stockings, and when she cleans, she is using the, what do you call them? Well, brushes as skates, pretty much. But so you can knit these socks with, well, it is a twisted rib, but not like the twisted rib, but a actually twisted rib. So there are, most patterns are, and projects are, what do I say? Like real, like serious. They're not like novelty, funny items, but they are like seriously worked through and properly made pieces of clothing, which is just lovely. So I will definitely have a really good time reading through this book, because it is magical, I think, without, as I said, without having looked at it too much yet. Too much. Much enough. No. Well, no. I'm just dropping that. I'm dropping it. Done. Okay. And that is all the knitting content. And I am trying to think what else I want to say. Yeah, I don't have too much to say though. No. I'll let you go so that I can get on with the stuff that I need to do before I leave for work, because it is, well, now it's very late morning, but as I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, or mornings are quite hard, and I don't really understand how it can be such a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. But today was a little bit easier because I was really looking forward to getting to record. So it's still quite late in the morning, which is okay. It's completely okay. But there are things that I need to be doing, so I shouldn't be procrastinating by talking to you guys about stuff that I don't even know about yet. No. So I'll let you go. Thank you very much for the feedback, the comments, Facebook, Instagram comments, and likes and thumbs up and everything. You guys really are amazing, and it means a lot to me. Again, I'm sjomajlin on Instagram and Ravelry, and here on YouTube. Be my friend or comment or whatever is appropriate on the different platforms. I still haven't replied on YouTube comments. I meant to do that as I uploaded the last episode. I just realized I haven't done that. I will do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna, use my illness as an excuse, but sometimes stuff are, just tough to deal with. So I will do that, because it really does mean a lot to me, even if I sometimes take quite a lot of time to get back to you. Sorry about that. So get in contact with me if you want to, and that's it. Thank you all for just being awesome. Please take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves and to one another. Be creative in whichever way makes you smile. And I'll talk to you next time.